the working relationship between cane farmers and cane cutters, the seasonal employees of the sugar industry, is about to improve significantly with the rollout of the booklet for good hiring practices in the cane farming sector. Basically, it is a rule book and a guide which outlines how farmers ought to treat cane cutters so that they will easily comply with both Belize's domestic labor laws and the ethical requirements they must meet for their certification with Fair Trade.
Fair Trade recognises that for some highly labour-intensive products like sugar, some farmers need to hire workers, for example, to support the harvest, like the cane cutters in Belize. These workers, without access to land, they have very few options for a sustainable livelihood. Many are seasonal migrant workers who are often transient and face particularly precarious employment situations. They often lack formal contracts, basic health and safety assurances, adequate wages, among many other challenges. So what does Fair Trade do to reinforce good working conditions and protect these workers? Fair Trade International starts with the core ILO conventions and recommendations as the main reference for good working conditions. The Fair Trade standards clearly state there must be freedom from discrimination, no tolerance of violence or abuse of any kind, no forced labour. If forced labour is found, remediation actions must be taken. No child labour. Again, if child labour is found, remediation must take place. Workers must also have fair conditions of employment, and there are also occupational health and safety requirements. And many of these requirements in the Fair Trade Standards are core requirements that the certified organisations must meet to become Fair Trade certified.
The stakeholders in the sugarcane industry took a long and honest look at their employment practices for cane cutters and agreed that the conditions for this group of workers were getting dangerously close to forced labor. So, with the help of Fair Trade and its regional partners, CLAC and Co-op, the farmers, the cane cutters, and ASR-BSI conducted an extensive consultation process to try and agree on fair working conditions for sugarcane harvesting. They even had advice and input from Social Security Board and the Labor Department.
One of the key important aspects is the price of how the tasks, what are the responsibilities of the cane cutters in terms of what they come to do to the field, what are the responsibilities of the harvesting group leader, and number one, as in any job, it's how much they will get paid. I think that's one of the first things that needs to be clear between them. That's first and foremost. The other things are working conditions at the field, things like personal protective equipment. That's one of the things that really came out from all the trainings. You know, we don't have enough money for PPEs. We know it is important. How can we get them? And that's where we try to close the gap or address those barriers. Shin guards are one of the most important pieces of PPE when we talk about cane cutting. Shin guards and the goggles. So that's what we prioritized on. And that is stipulated in the contract. Also, simple things like water, ensuring that there is water in the field. More also for productivity and also for ensuring health conditions. Some other things are working hours. Working time during the week. We have to ensure that we have a 45-hour during the week and we don't surpass that without ensuring that there is proper accounting of overtime. A day's rest. That was a key contention point between the whole process. And one of the things that we had to look at, for example, is yes, the cane cutters do need a 24-hour, continuous 24-hour rest time.
And while most of those victories are in favor of cane cutters, the farmers employing them also gets benefits.
The associations to which the European Group Leader belongs will be able to show compliance of the Fair Trade Standard that now requires the existence of written contracts of employment. Major sugar buyers, especially the Cooperative Group of England, will now be reassured that sugarcane production is being undertaken under the appropriate labour conditions required by international labour conventions and the Fair Trade Standard. Both international household and industrial consumers will be more eager to purchase fair trade sugar as they will be aware and be content that the impact of the fair trade premium which they pay will be benefiting cane cutters among others.
Como cañero, yo pienso que va a ayudar de una manera positiva. Y va a ayudar al cañero y al mismo tiempo al group leader porque al tener un contrato firmado, el cañero puede depender de que esta persona va a llegar al cañaveral a hacer sus obligaciones, que es cortar caña. Y igualmente, el group leader pues no tiene que estar pensando, ¿será que mi gente va a ir hoy o no va a ir hoy? Entonces yo creo que es un acuerdo que siempre se ha hecho verbalmente, pero no ha estado por escrito.
Now that all these worker-farmer concerns will be properly penned out in writing, Belizean sugar stakeholders are getting a thumbs up.
Belizean farmers can be rightly proud of their 12-year fair trade journey. The elimination of harmful chemicals, action to counter child labour, action to ensure the health and safety of the workforce, and the creation of a fair and ethical employment climate for so many people in Belize are all examples. These are all continuing positive contributions to the sustainability of our industry, for which the farmers deserve great credit.
The contracts book is now ready to distribute and ready to use in the forthcoming crop. It's a brilliant achievement. This is a fantastic moment. I'm delighted to celebrate it all with you. I congratulate you all on your achievement and I wish you all the best for the forthcoming crop.
So congratulations on the launch of the booklet for good hiring practices in the cane farming sector and your work to pioneer a better future for the sugarcane industry.
Reporting for 7 News, Daniel Ortiz.